The KSU Owls. It's the Hootie Hoo, the Owls Who Love Sports show. Can I get a big Hootie Hoo?
Hootie Hoo!
All right.
Somebody sat down close to the extension cord.
Larry's just giving you a heads up for her.
I was just trying to give you a heads up.
All right. So, Robert.
It didn't work.
Happy Hootie Hoo Day to
Happy
you.
Hootie Hoo!
What's going on?
Living the dream yourself.
Living the nightmare. We're good to go. Yeah.
Oh, come on now.
Is Teddy Parrish just joined us? We'll be getting him on in a second.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, cool. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on. We have our big fan, Will the Thrill Renfro, with us. And Will has been at all the basketball games. He's been at the baseball game, so he's been doing some traveling.
He was with you and I at the basketball game on Friday night, but is sitting front and center so he can give us a play-by-play of what happened in Birmingham on Saturday.
Well, I went over to UAB, which is right there in the middle of Birmingham.
Downtown Birmingham.
Yeah, it's just right off 65 and 20, and I got a nice little complex there with their softball stadium, the baseball stadium. There's a soccer stadium right across the street. Really nice little setup, but
and very cold Saturday.
It was very cold.
Yeah.
It was in the upper 40s with the wind blowing, and that is not the way to watch baseball.
That's enough good time. I know Stan called me. Stan Kirk, Stan's in the audience. He called me and offered me a ticket for last night at the game. Did we win last night?
No, we did not.
We lost again last night.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to go, but I said,
We've been so far. We're 1-3.
we won our opening night game.
We won the opener with
12-7
with a 6-run inning.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the only inning where we've had really hot bats this year
Yeah.
so far. So we're having a slow start with the bats. Pitching's been pretty solid, but
and the score Saturday was like 11-7 or something like that too.
12-4.
Right?
yeah,
12-4. Yeah. 12-7, and we won on Friday night.
Right.
Correct.
And then 3-0 was a pitcher's duel on Sunday. Yeah.
Like I said, we're pitching okay.
Yeah, and I can tell you this from being there on Saturday, I think that set of officials was a new set of officials, and I don't say that because they made bad calls. It's because it took them 10 minutes to make the call. So there was a time when a UAB player bunted the ball, and it hit him. And the guy behind the plate, the umpire, immediately called that he had stepped out of the batter's box, was in the field of play. He's out.
He's out.
So the coach comes over. Coach Coe comes out and argues. Or no, it was their coach came out and argued. Sorry.
I don't think Coach Coe would have argued about that.
Well, there's an order to this because it was crazy. So their coach came out and argued the play, and then Coach Coe decided to argue something. I still hadn't figured out which Coach Coe was arguing. And then the refs decided, I call it refs, like it's football. Umps. They all get together, and they huddled, and they talked about it. And then they decided, well, we all don't really know what happened, so now we're going to replay. So then they go to replay, and then make a different call. They change the call, and then Coach Coe comes out and argues
Coach
again.
Coe got involved.
It took like 5 or 10 minutes to make this call, and we're all sitting there just shivering because it's cold. like, just make a call and move on.
I'm sure Jan was so pleasant to be around in that cold weather.
You know, I think it froze her quiet.
Yeah, and just thinking about a review, there's a lot of different things you can review, in a basketball game with your foot on the line or something else. It's you better have a great camera right above you to be able to tell if you were still in the batter's box when it hit you in the shin, because that's not an easy call.
No,
even after review.
And what I've heard from the people that did watch the game remote said that their cameras were not that good to begin with, so I'm not sure they had a clear
picture of it anyway. Yeah.
But it may just be a case of where the umps were kind of, this maybe had been their first series of D1 baseball. I don't know, but I'm not saying they made bad calls. It's just there were 2 or 3 of those calls where it took them a long time to make the call, and Coach Coe got pretty frustrated. So it's always fun when Coach Coe gets frustrated because, like a lot of baseball coaches, they start chirping from the dugout.
Oh, yeah.
And once you get under the skin of one of them and they turn around and give you a warning, you know it's coming. And it finally happened. Coach Coe got thrown out of the game while he was still in the dugout. He didn't even make it onto the field.
On Saturday?
Yeah, on Saturday.
He got tossed?
He got tossed. And so
It's all about the tea.
they threw him out, and he had to go sit in the bus that was way out there across the parking lot. They actually had somebody escort him out to the bus.
Yeah.
So you're saying he was actually able to stay warm for the rest of the game?
I think he got cold and said, "Forget this, I'm
just
going
laying it
home."
out there.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh, and you were at the last two. Well, the girls' Saturday, you weren't there because you were at the UAB.
Yeah.
But we were there Thursday night when the girls played.
Yeah.
And we cheered for Soup.
Man, that team we played, FGCU, it was full
They're
of
a good
shooters.
basketball team, yeah.
They are a fantastic basketball team, and you can tell that in men's basketball, there's certain aspects that make a team good. Like if you have a good center or a good guard or whatever. If you got three girls that can shoot the three-pointer,
And they had 6.
and they had a whole fleet of them, you can make a difference by just getting down there, penetrate, pass it out, and shoot the three, and they were hitting them.
And they really didn't care if they made them or not because there was nobody under the offensive basket. We got probably 95% of the defensive rebounds because
They weren't even crashing
they
the
don't
boards.
care because they're going to come down and shoot another 3 and make one.
And they're going to make it. And
Yeah.
they were that good. And I think their record stands at somewhere around 60 in a row conference
wins. And the coach has
Spanning several years.
84.8% winning percentage.
Over 20 years.
Over 20 years.
At
That's
the same
pretty
school.
strong. That was Carl.
Carl.
Yeah.
We let Carl have it.
We let Carl have it, and the band said, Carl got a big old butt. Carl got a big old butt.
Oh.
And that was
Yeah.
a blast.
That was a blast.
So we had fun. And then Friday night, the guys played, and we lost by 1.
Yeah.
Another heartbreaker.
This
they
whole
lost so many
season-
close games like that.
This whole season, they had a lot of those close games. If next year they can just turn those around to win by good margin, we're going to have a fantastic season.
Yeah.
It happens all the time, whether it be basketball or football, where you look at a team and you're like, well, that's not a good football team. They went 6-11 this year in the NFL. And you go, yeah, but they were in 12 one-score games and they lost all of them. You know,
Yeah.
at some point in time, you start looking at it.
Yeah, so we got a couple of road games left, both teams, right?
Right.
And that's it?
Correct.
And then the A-Sun tournament will start next week,
There's
I
a
guess.
chance we get in the A-Sun tournament. It's not
Yeah.
it's not a given.
No, and if we do, we're going to be as the 8 seed, which will
Yes.
travel to the 1 seed to get the whole show going.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And as you guys were talking about, I just wanted to pull it up. Florida Gulf Coast women are 23-4, 13-0 in the conference.
Yes.
So,
That's strong.
Keep a lookout when the women's bracket shows up because somebody like Caitlin Clark might just get a pile of what are they? The Eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah.
A pile of Eagles from Gulf Coast.
Yeah, that would be. Well, it'd probably be South Carolina. Well, it could be South Carolina or
Could be
Iowa. Yeah, they'll both
anybody.
be 1 seeds. Yeah, yeah. All right, cool. Anything else going on, Robert? Lacrosse. I know the lacrosse started off very hot. I think they lost a match last week, but I think they're playing pretty well.
I had some softball pulled up. I didn't have
Oh,
lacrosse.
I'm sorry.
pulled up. That's
That's
okay.
fine.
It's how it works.
I know they had a cold tournament here over the weekend.
Wow, we ran into a buzzsaw of that with Tennessee over the weekend in softball.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. You texted me that last Wednesday night. They said we're down 7-2 in the second inning.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, that's all right. And then you texted me a little bit later and said, it's still 7-0 in the third inning. I said, well, how do we lose these 2 runs?
We're losing runs.
They took runs away from us.
But, personally, we talked about it a little bit on the first show. I'm okay with losing certain games. And, that particular game, when you're going against number 2 in the country, and they showed you everything, 14-0. That's a game where you just kind of okay. This is where we start. This is where we move forward. And the girls are chomping at the bit to get back out there. The women's lacrosse is 2-1 currently,
Yep.
getting ready to play Gardner Webb. Gardner Webb is coming
That's
today.
where John Drew.
They're actually here today.
The Bulldogs from Gardner Webb.
Correct. I don't know what the I don't know about any proprietary thing, but there's a bulldog wearing a red jersey. There's a chance Gardner Webb might go down for that one at some point.
Hey,
Yeah.
Nobody knows they exist up there.
Yeah.
What?
And wait a minute, they're in Hot
Carolina.
Springs, North Carolina. or
Hot Springs, North Carolina, yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere in North Carolina, yeah.
They make a lot of furniture.
Yeah. So I know you were on softball. Did you want to go back to that?
No, whatever you want to do.
All right.
I'm just all over here.
That's fine. Well, we got a couple of guests we need to get on,
Yeah.
so let's move on with that. Will, thanks for the update, buddy.
All right.
Always.
Will,
Best luck
don't
to you.
forget, we will be doing a tailgating segment during football
Oh, Lord.
of So get your recipes into the app at the Owls Who Live Sports, right, Larry?
That's right.
All right. So we can get your recipes loaded up for Will to serve at the home football games this coming fall.
Oh, it's gonna get bigger this year.
Conference USA, baby. Everything's
right.
bigger. All right. So let's get our first commercial out of the way. Let's do Brian Bristow and
Kennesaw Express.
Kennesaw Express Lube.
There are a lot of places to get your oil changed in the Kennesaw area, but if you're looking for a personal experience, then stop in at Castrol Kennesaw Express Lube or Lost Mountain Express Lube. We'll always do our best to get you in and out quickly, safely, and without a whole lot of fuss. We're a true owner-operated business where you'll find Brian under a car or a hood at one of the shops. We offer experienced, knowledgeable technicians and the latest computer software to help you maintain your new car warranty and keep your pride and joy running for the next 100,000 miles. We proudly offer
Castrol products. Thank you, Brian Bristow, being a sponsor of the Owls Who Live Sports. And speaking of the Owls Who Live Sports, we got one that played sports at KSU. It is Mr. Kevin Ficklin. Kevin, everybody give a Kevin big hoo-hoo! Listen to that crowd. Kevin, listen to that crowd.
Hey, and if this guy looks a lot like the guy who was on the first show, then, you know,
It's
you need to get your eyes
because
looked
he
at.
is,
Oh,
yeah.
he is. Okay,
Yeah.
it's because he is.
Kevin, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. How about y'all, man?
We're doing good.
So
It's like a whole new meeting.
Yes.
we're going to meet with Kevin in a few
time.
minutes, and we got Teddy Parrish coming on the show. Tell us what's happening at KSU in the financial department and everything else. So, Kevin, we know that you're from Decula.
Decula,
Is
Georgia.
that the way you pronounce it, Decula?
Yeah, a lot of people like to say Dracula, but Decula,
It
Georgia.
looks like Dracula.
That really
close to it.
sucks.
That's a good joke. I like
Don't,
that
You
one.
like
don't,
that?
don't,
Right.
don't,
Don't encourage
it.
that,
Don't
yeah.
encourage
Don't
it.
encourage.
It
I'm
would
a
be
big
bad,
fan
yeah.
of dad
Yeah.
jokes, so I like it. I like it.
Yeah. So, did you play all sports at Decula, or was football always your love?
It was mostly football, but I mean, I dabbled in a little bit of baseball my freshman year.
Yeah.
and
A little bit closer
track.
to the mic, Kev.
Oh, my fault.
That's
a
all right.
little bit of baseball my freshman year, and then track and field was the rest of the year.
What'd you do in track and field?
100 meter and 200 meter, 4x1 as well.
Wow.
So mostly sprinting, nothing long distance.
Yeah.
At that point.
I if I was sprinting, it was to get away from somebody. That's the only reason I would sprint. Yeah.
It still holds true
It
today.
still
Chuck.
holds true today. That's true. So, so why KSU? What made you pick KSU?
Coach Bowen came to my school and kind of told me they're trying to build something new. It's going to be a starting program at that point, so I can be one of the people for the foundation of that. I'll always be in history.
So you were here the inaugural 2015?
Correct. I was here. I was a red shirt, so I didn't see the field much,
That's
but I was
okay.
on the team at that point and saw the start of it to where it is now. So
Unbelievable.
to be
huh?
one of those starting members was a lot.
And played till 2020, is that right?
Correct. Right
Okay.
before COVID. So.
That's awesome. That's not the COVID, but that you played until you 2020. That's
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. So, what was your favorite memory of playing sports? Well, first of all, did you get offered anywhere else?
I didn't. I got preferred walk-ons everywhere else, but Kennesaw is close to home, so I was still about an hour away from hometown. So
Yeah.
I was like, this is a perfect fit at that point.
Oh, that's cool. So, the coach had more to do with it than anything else, and being close to home.
Pretty much proximity to home, then Coach Bowen at that point, meeting Coach Bo, Coach G, felt like a family. So at that point,
And you were a running back.
correct.
So when there's a brand new football team forming and all they want to do is run the ball, it's kind of an exciting thing.
Yeah, at that point, I know I'm going to get a chance
Yeah.
to tote the rock.
Tote the
in.
rock,
So-
baby.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's funny. So, of all the places you played, I know you were talking with Will over there. Will said he saw you play in Montana.
Yeah,
In
Montana.
Weber State.
Yeah, he saw me play at Utah, he said as well.
Yeah.
The main one that I would say was the best experience is going to be when we played at Truist Park, getting to go into the locker
Jack
room.
State,
Everybody
the
loves that
overtime
game.
game.
Yeah, the overtime, 5 overtimes, jumping in the stands after, seeing them convert the field to a football field. That was probably the best experience football-wise that I've had in my career. So
That's really cool. Cold when you played in Montana State, right?
yeah. Very cold, snow everywhere. Getting off the plane and seeing that much snow, I've never seen it that much in my life. So
How much snow was it? Do you remember?
I think it was like 4 or 5 inches, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
We've had more than that here, though.
Yeah. Oh, well, at that point, it might have been more, but
Yeah.
it was a lot of snow.
Yeah.
I might
Yeah.
be wrong on the inches at that point.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So, Truist is your favorite stadium you've ever played in, or?
Correct.
All right.
Truist, Weber State would be second just because of the mountains in the background.
The
Beautiful
road
scenery.
trip, camaraderie, all that fun
Yeah.
stuff.
So
Road
I would
trips
say
are
that would
fun,
be
aren't they?
Yeah. getting to bond with the team in the hotels. We get up there a couple days beforehand and do walkthroughs and meetings. But the bonds you form when you're in those hotel rooms, kind of joking around and playing around, is something I'll never forget.
Well, you managed to do one thing at Weber State that you never did anywhere else. What was that?
At Weber State.
Yeah, when you were at the Weber State game, you did one thing that you'd never accomplished at any other point in your career, according to what I looked up.
It might have been the punt return that I did for the first time, or
No, you made a tackle. Your only tackle of your collegiate career.
For the fumble scoop.
There you go. There you go. Somebody else started running down the field, and you found him. Yeah, it's not always easy if you're an offensive guy to get a tackle.
Yeah, that is true. I played defense a lot in high school, so I mean, brought back
You knew
those
what to do.
memories.
You
a
knew
little
what to
bit.
do.
You know, muscle
Walk
memory
out
at
the
that
field
point.
like, man,
Yeah, I got
really
that.
messed him up.
So obviously that tackle wasn't your favorite memory of football. What's your favorite memory? The Jacksonville State game, or?
No, it's probably the first time I actually got to get a lot of reps when it came to football in college. We were playing Alabama State. I had 2 touchdowns and probably like 75 yards. And then from that point
What'd you do in the second half?
It wasn't too much in the second half. But the first half had a great first half. It started to rain in the second half, so we did more of the 2-dive when that came to aspect, so we didn't fumble or turn over the ball. But was probably my favorite experience when it came to playing in college.
Was that here or was that at Alabama State?
It was a
here.
home game.
It was home game.
North Alabama.
North Alabama, yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. So, yeah, nothing like Fifth Third Bank Stadium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just for the record, in that game, he had 4 carries for 80 yards and 2 scores.
Yeah.
You know, I think he was, I believe the expression is feeling it.
Yeah, caught fire, you know. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Nothing better than when you got it, right?
Yeah, it's just getting that zone, and then everything just syncs up. Feels like you're just moving in slow motion when it comes to everything.
And then after a carry like that, after you bust off a good one, that doesn't go for a score.
Yeah.
And you know, you see it all the time on TV. It matters not what level you're talking about. As soon as you come up, you're looking over there for eye contact with the coach. Like, man, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good for this next play too. I know you're thinking I'm winded, but I am.
Yeah, give me the ball again at that point.
Exactly.
Feed me.
Yeah,
right?
I had a run on
Did
the
you ever
sideline.
do this?
I never did, but I mean, there was moments when I was
When
near,
you wanted to?
I was near Coach Bo, I know, on that game, and I was like, look, I'm feeling it today, so give me a couple more carries, and I might be able to do something.
But you never got up in his face like Travis Kelce did with Andy Reid.
No, Coach Bo would strangle me at that point. Coach Bo's not doing that.
That's funny. That's funny. Oh, that's cool. So, you know, away from football, we always ask this. You told me that you're fans of other sports.
Yeah.
So you go to the basketball games and.
Yeah, basketball game, baseball games, softball games at that point, kind of showing support to the other athletic groups on the campus. So.
Yeah, that's cool. And one of our favorite questions is, who is the most famous person in your cell phone?
It would probably be a distant cousin, Barkevius Mingo.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say,
Oh, Mingo.
I looked that up. It's not the Mingo who just came out.
Yeah, it was a
It's
while
Mingo
back.
that played for the New England Patriots, right?
Yeah, he played for
Defensive
the Patriots
back?
and Cleveland Brown. No, he was
Browns.
an end or outside linebacker, I believe.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Oh,
played at
that's cool.
LSU, so a lot of my family's in Louisiana, so.
Yeah, I remember him playing at LSU. So, you know, when they asked me that before now, I guess I'll have to say my nephew or my cousin that's won 3 races
Yeah.
at Daytona.
That's your most famous contact at that point.
Yeah. Well, he's not even in my cell phone, but his grandmother is.
That's close enough.
So let me ask you this question. Next year, KSU will be part of
Conference USA.
we'll be that too, but we'll be in the video game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told him about this earlier.
And so, you know, one thing that we like to ask some of the players is if this was you, and let's back it up. We'll say it's 2018, 2019.
Okay.
Something like that. What's your number?
I'm going to give myself a modest, humble 82.
82.
82,
Okay, he's
that's-
humble about 82. 82 sounds like it's got a little breakaway speed.
Yeah, a little bit.
Little bit.
Acceleration, speed's probably not up there. Give it like a 90.
I
Acceleration like 92.
got you. I got
Yeah.
you.
I'm
thinking that's gonna be
That
good.
first 5 steps is really fast.
Yeah, that's where I get
maybe not that top end as much.
I might get caught. but-
Okay. If what's his name, Daryl Green's running behind you, he catches everybody, so
Yeah.
it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, that's cool. That's a fun question. We've had a lot of we had a lot of the offensive linemen on, and we're asking them, but nobody ever said anything that high. They were saying like 65 or something.
Well, you know, the
I'd be
offensive
happy
linemen, they
to-
were like yelling at each other, like, you know, I'm waiting to hear your number. You know, it's like nobody's buying into it. So now tell us what you're doing nowadays.
So I work at a company named RJ Young. I'm an account executive at that point in Cobb County and Canton area. So the main thing that we focus on is office technology. When it comes to your printers, security systems, anything of that nature, we can service it, and then also you can lease through us. So it's a one-stop shop.
Sounds like you learned a lot at KSU.
Yeah, you know, try to make sure I make use of that degree that I got. So
That's good.
And your degree's in business?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you wish you had been there during this NIL phase?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to me being there, I mean, NIL money wouldn't be a lot at that point. It would be nice to get a chance to get some money in college, extra spending money to go out on the weekends.
Unless somebody showed up with a big pile of NIL money to that North Alabama game, then they're like, yeah, I guess it's this guy.
Give this man
him
the
all the
wad.
money.
That would be
Has to
awesome.
at
Yeah.
that point. Yeah. So, I mean, the NIL deals, I feel like it's needed in college, but at some point they're going to have to cap it off. It's starting to get outrageous.
They have to control it in some way. And we're going to talk a lot about that with our next guest, Teddy Parrish, in a few minutes.
It's hard to lean on the NCAA to cap it off when none of us have any faith in them in doing a lot of things
Doing
right.
a lot of other things right, yeah. But maybe we can get Teddy in office and get him running it right. That would be my
Teddy for
deal.
president at that point.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would
Teddy's
be-
rolling his eyes looking over here like he's trying not to pay attention to this stuff.
We'll see what happens when Teddy gets on. But yeah, that's cool, Kevin. Robert and I talk about it good, but I'm not a proponent of the transfer portal. I think you should be able to transfer maybe once, but not every year, and you still have to sit out a year. It's just turned into anything can happen any year, and I'm just not happy with that at all.
Yeah, it's taken away from that factor. I mean, if you have like a second string guy that knows he can go to a different school, there's no way to develop your team. It's always trying to make sure that the top guys are satisfied, and then you maybe can get some recruits in or go for the transfer portal. But
Yeah,
Sure.
That's true. It's changed the way players play. It's changed the way coaches think.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that's a big
does.
factor in why Nick Saban left or retired.
I totally agree.
I think the other
I
factor
don't think
is
he would
that he's
admit
really
it,
old.
but I think that's why. They're really old?
He's really old. I think that was the other factor.
That too.
Yeah, all right. Well, dude, we appreciate you sticking around and being on both shows today. You're the first time we've had a double header staying for both shows.
I appreciate y'all having me. It
and,
was great having me.
First ever.
The heck is that?
It sounds like 9 different theme songs all at once.
What was that, Larry? The
I know that's
KSU
I'm not sure.
It might have
Trying
been. It
to
might have
get
been KSU, USC, and
applause
Washington State
queued
all
up
together.
and something started playing.
Oh, I thought you were playing the Dakula fight song or something. I didn't know what the hell was going on. That's funny.
Hey,
Well,
one more thing, real quick. A professor shout out. Who's somebody who gave you some knowledge that you feel like it actually still helps you today?
assuming you went to class.
I went to class. I'd probably say an academic advisor. I'd probably say Tommy when I first got in, kind of laying that foundation of this is what it's going to take to be successful after sports. So
There you go.
I'd probably say Tommy at that point.
Tommy who?
Jones,
Tommy.
if I'm not mistaken.
Tommy Jones.
It's been a minute.
Hey, no, it's
Tommy
okay.
Gunn.
Hey, regardless, if I'm Tommy and you didn't get my last name, but I'm the person who you think of,
Yeah.
that's still a heck of a compliment.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, we appreciate you, buddy. And you're going to come back and be one of the 10 general
Oh, yeah,
managers
yeah, I'll
for
be-
our fantasy,
Lord.
for our football draft, too.
I'll
So
try to get the
that's cool.
Falcons so I can, rebuild and restructure us.
We'll see. All right, buddy.
we
All right.
need
How about the big-
everything you've got.
How about a big hootie hoo? For Kevin Fickling. Thanks,
I
Kevin.
appreciate y'all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, buddy. And let's get our
Let's get our second commercial out of the way.
American Access with Dan Fisher.
Tired of going to the same old places for the same old thing? American Access has your solution. Whether you're looking for something new to do before or after the game, bachelor, bachelorette party, or somewhere new to take those out-of-town guests, American Access has 3 Atlanta locations in Marietta, Tucker, and now in downtown at the Works. Each and every location is conveniently and not coincidentally located next to a brewery. Look us up at American Access or give us a call at 678-763-3635 to schedule your next adventure.
And thank you Dan Fisher for being the sponsor of the Owls Who Live Sports right here in Miller's Ale House every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Chuck Birds along with Robert Kinney and having a great time. Well, we appreciate Will and Stan and Garrett showing up tonight and showing their love and support.
We always appreciate anybody who is a Owls fan who comes up. Even if you're not hanging out with us or on air, we really do appreciate you coming up and, showing some of the players or some of the coaches the camaraderie that we believe this university is going to have for many years to come.
And we're growing every day, getting bigger. And speaking of that, we're going to talk to somebody who can tell us how we're going to grow and get bigger and bigger. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Teddy Parrish, if you would. A big hooty hoo! Hooty hoo! Teddy's in there, me? Yeah, man, it's you. Or her.
I love the
What's up,
established
Ted? How you, brother?
1963.
Good to see you.
I love that. I love that sweatshirt.
Is that you or the sweatshirt that was established in
Sweatshirt, that's not
1963?
me. I'm a little bit.
That's
little
got to be
bit,
close.
72.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
So, I know I look a little older than I am.
That's just
you
that's
carry
just
yourself
that
so
knowledge
well,
and
that
distinguished
maturity,
aspect
yeah,
of
That's
you.
the years of getting beat up. And
Been there,
It makes
done
you
that.
smarter.
Yeah, it
Makes you
does.
smarter.
You got to cut
And a
your
little-
teeth. You have to cut your teeth.
Hey, it's like they say all the time. Everybody's got a plan until they got hit in the face.
Yeah, Mike Tyson. Yeah,
Yeah.
get punched in the mouth. Right?
Yeah. So we bring Teddy on. Teddy's been on with us before. Been a while. Can you believe we've been doing this 18 months?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
isn't
awesome.
that
Yeah,
cool?
I can believe it.
And I
So
don't
many
know-
where we are. We're in Kennesaw.
Yeah.
And things are going on here
Oh, yeah.
that the
Many
rest of the
things.
country needs to see.
And I don't know if you know
Special
this,
place.
but we've given $1,600 to the Owls Collective
That's awesome.
from our show.
That's awesome.
So
That's great.
we're loving it. We're growing. And just to mention, that is the purpose of the show, to get the community involved with KSU. We just
Yeah.
got a new speaker, new sponsor a couple of weeks ago. And I
Okay.
have a feeling they own 21 locations. And I think they're going to become more involved with the Owls.
Wonderful.
Yep, so
That'd
we'll
be
get that
great.
going. And
That'd be
as
great.
we say every week, if somebody gives 500 to Tech or to Georgia or to Clemson or Alabama, doesn't mean much. You give 500 to the Owls, you're in the club. And
That's right.
And that's what I love about KSU.
It is the biggest bang for their buck.
Yep.
You get the
You got
highest
that right.
ROI.
Yeah.
Not to
dollar.
mention, I went to a basketball game on Friday night, and I am a local guy here. I live in Kennesaw, just off of 41, but I watched the entire game. I high-fived a couple people as I
Yeah.
was leaving. I went to my car, drove home. I was home in 17 minutes. You can't beat that.
Great entertainment.
That was including the walk to get to my car.
And there was a pretty good crowd, too. It's,
It was.
it's not
It
that
was.
hard to get out of there.
Friday was a pretty. I tell you, this whole season, after that run last year, March Madness, this whole season has been
They doubled,
Lots of energy.
they doubled
really
season tickets
energetic.
from last year, didn't
Yes.
they? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I know
And-
Sean
and-
Betts and that crew, Armani and them, they did a heck of a job.
It's a good feeling to walk into that gym like that. We got to get the attendance up at the women's basketball games a
Yeah.
little. But I mean, overall, I say A+ in
Yeah.
terms of the growth in attendance and the energy. And that's going to
Clearly.
carry it forward throughout all of sports, hopefully.
Absolutely.
And it
Absolutely.
means so much to have the Who band there.
Yes, it does.
It does. It
Oh my
brings
gosh.
so much
Just
energy
think they're
to
a
the
little
crowd.
bit off, and I wanted to talk to them about this. So when we were down a little the other night, they got to know when to bring that one song on.
Yeah,
you
they
know what
did seem
song I'm
like-
talking about,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, you don't want to go to war with the Owls.
Yeah, about a minute left in the game.
And
You
it
gotta
seems
bring that
like
song.
to me that they slowed it down a beat. I don't know, but maybe I'm wrong. But we came up with a great idea last year. We did a show about new songs that the band should play,
Yeah.
and we came up with "Give Up the Funk." You remember that song?
Because it's Parliament.
Because it's
right.
Parliament, which
Parliament is a
owls.
group of owls.
And they need to say, "We
Yeah.
are the Owls.
Yeah.
God can't beat the Owls."
Did you pitch it?
I did.
Oh, we did. We had
We
a
had a
show.
whole show where we sat
Really?
around this table and did a round table. But
You
what
gotta,
opposite-
you gotta call me when you do stuff like that. I love you. Not can sing very well. Not.
We're gonna
But we
hear
had
that
like-
here in a minute.
So Nick Massaroni.
Yeah.
So we had him and the guy that plays the saxophone or something, sousaphone or something was on the show. We came up with a whole lyric from
the Jeffersons.
Jefferson moving on
Moving
up.
on up.
And we wrote a whole thing about moving up to Conference USA, which
We're about to
they
move
love,
up.
and they never did nothing
Deluxe
about it.
Conference.
We're about to move up, and it's a big
It's
deal.
awesome. It's awesome
It's a
stuff.
big deal.
Yeah. So tell us remind the crowd, Teddy, about what you do and what your position is with the school.
So I am an alum. I graduated
Congratulations.
in 1995. I'm an Owl through and through. I played basketball
Yep.
for KSU back then, and and ever since I've been involved in some capacity. I had the fortune of working for a former professor who actually started a business, and I stayed with him for 20 years. And working with him, he forced us to stay connected. So I always I lectured classes or whatever. I was kind of a nerd, but started my own business in 2014. But since about 2009, 2010, I've been really involved. When Dan Papp was here, he put me on the committee for the exploratory committee for football. So I did the projected cost for the football program along with Vince Dooley. And after that, I joined the board of trustees for the foundation. And I've been on that board since 2013 or so.
When it first started.
After football started, I was pulled onto the board of trustees for the foundation.
I got you.
So I've been on there a while, so over a decade, and currently I am the vice chair elect. So
Vice chair,
So
chair elect,
humble.
which means as of next year, when
as of
He to me.
July 1st,
July 1st.
When we go to Commerce USA,
2024, this summer.
which is the day we go Commerce USA.
Yep. I am chairman of the board for the foundation.
That was a great thing. I love chairman of the board.
And it's crazy.
It
really is.
It's kind of crazy knowing, that you've got this position, but that when you take it over, there won't be anybody who, yes, there's a lot of things that are similar, but not on the level and the scale that it will be on July 1st.
Yeah. Thanks for making me want to run out of here.
We love having you there. That's a great position for you.
There's been a lot. I mean, folks need to understand what the foundation represents. I mean, that's been the backbone and support for this university for a long time. A lot of great men and women who have not only put their personal treasure up, but their time and expertise. And a lot of what we see now, I mean, the foundation had a lot to do with it. The state as well, but and also just KSU in general. But there's a lot more work to do. As you can imagine, this shift to the FBS is a major
step.
undertaking.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that need to be improved. Budgets increase, but there's always a deficit that needs to be filled. So, I mean, we have a $200 million campaign that was announced last year, and that'll help out when we hit those numbers. But still, over and above that, we have to have more community participation, which has been great. Student participation and alumni.
Yeah.
We have to get the alumnus really engaged. It's a major undertaking. It's not just monetary, but it's participation.
Well, and at some point in time, I've never had the position you have, but if you get somebody involved without money and monetarily speaking, but you get them around it and you get them excited about
Yes.
it, they're probably going to pull out their wallet a
Absolutely.
little bit easier than if you just knock on their door or send them a text message. Hey, can you give us some cash?
Absolutely. We want more.
Remind them of the family.
We want more butts and seats at games, but overall, the most important thing is student success and experience.
Yeah.
And athletics falls right in line with that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We are a destination university now. We are no longer
Crazy.
a commuter school.
Well, we're the 13th largest in the country. Is that right?
It's I don't know the national number. I probably should, but
I
I
know
know
number
we're
2 in
going back
Georgia.
and forth in Georgia, number 2.
Yeah.
So and honestly, I think that the trajectory we're on, the momentum, that's only going to grow.
Yeah. Who are the most famous KSU alums? I mean, I know Ryan Seacrest,
That's number one.
probably number one.
Yeah.
I only ask this because I follow a good bit of this NIL crap just so I could talk about it on Wednesday nights. And some anonymous donor just gave $62 million to Missouri. Did you hear
Really?
that yesterday?
I
He
didn't
said
see that.
50 of that is going to facilities and $12 million is designated for NIL.
Well,
How much would that help KSU if we got a donation like that?
that would be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
We welcome that.
Yeah.
If anybody's out there listening, and you have a couple million in your pocket, spare change,
Don't know what to
throw
do
it our
with it?
way.
Yeah.
We can put it to work in the right way.
I've got
but
a
the most
list here.
famous for me, I would say, and he's going to kill me for saying this, Bill Lako. You know who Bill Lako is?
I've
Do
heard the
not.
name, but I
That's
can't remember.
I'm half kidding, but serious. He's an alum like I am with Hensler Financial.
Oh, okay.
And also, wait, Heather Fortner. She is the CEO for FD Financial.
Okay.
And that's Fraser and Dieter. I mean, she's a rock star.
Now, are these people that we go after, or
Yeah, they're
you,
involved.
you have a list?
They're involved. I think that Lako and the Henslers just gave $2 million for baseball.
Oh, yeah, for the new
finish
baseball stadium. Yeah,
Stadium,
that's
yeah.
right, yeah.
And Heather's, we're trying to tee her up.
Neither one of those people are on this list. I just pulled up something for notable alumni.
Oh, this
Larry
should be
Nelson.
fun. Larry Nelson.
the
absolutely,
golfer.
absolutely.
So
I was
you
just
got
speaking.
you got him, and you got Seacrest,
Seacrest.
and then Ty Pennington, who went to Spraberry High School, who does
Oh, yeah.
all the
Home shows.
home
Yeah.
repair shows.
Home repair
and
shows.
then, unfortunately, I apologize. I do not know a lot of the rest of you. Candace Pelletier, Charles Lawler, Nick Ayers,
I've heard of
Arturo
Charles Lawler.
Chalijub, Michael Caldwell, Christy Demeester, Jasmine Burke, Maria Rubert, and Willie Harris. They're
I
famous.
know a few of those folks.
Well,
you know.
and if any of those folks would like to be better known,
Yeah.
then
They
you
need
should
to get
contact
reconnected.
this man.
No.
No.
We need to. Yeah, you can contact me, but we have. Folks in the Alumni Association. You know, Frances Brucey.
Yep.
She's running
Bessie,
that.
yeah, she's been on
Russie,
before.
yes. She's so.
Now,
we're gonna-
Carrick's taking that over, right?
He's deeply involved, but she's like, he's taking over the chairmanship.
That's right.
She's actually
Of
inside the
alumni, right?
organization.
Of
She
the alumni
works
committee,
for
yeah.
the actual university.
Yeah.
Carrick's taking that over. In fact, we're going to be doing a video, Carrick and I, for this a Giving Day that's coming up in April. He just informed me of that the other day, so I'm getting my
I
act
wonder
together.
where he is tonight. He's usually here.
Yep. But yeah, I think that one of the big things that I'm going to focus on, over the next 2 years when my term begins is, engagement with alumni.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really think that's a hidden jewel. It's not just as simple as going in and saying, like you said, asking for money. It's about, show them what we're working with. Let them know where we are, what we stand for, and what they're missing out on. And
Yeah.
I think the story is
Absolutely.
very compelling.
Yeah. Oh,
Very
well,
compelling.
well, the awareness that our school is now getting, and we talked about this before when we were in Greensboro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nobody knew where Kennesaw State was, but everybody from Xavier would walk up and say, "Hey, where's Kennesaw?" And we got a lot of exposure from that ball
We
game.
did. It's said to be about $300 million worth of exposure
From that game.
in
Crazy.
that one game.
That's crazy, isn't it?
That is crazy.
Well, it's that one game, and it's being put in all those brackets across the country for the 5 days beforehand.
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Absolutely.
And I'll never forget. I know you were there, right? Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
were there.
I was there.
So when we first started singing,
You don't want to go to
you
war.
want to go to War of the Owls. It was 100 or 200 of us, but by the end of the game, it was everybody except the Xavier fans.
Telling you.
Everybody but the Xavier fans.
We were really close. Had we won that game,
Don't get me started on that because I believe we win the next game.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Well,
I agree.
Will and I were sitting there, and because I went up with Will, and we're sitting there, we said, "Gosh, there's just like 9 minutes left. Where we're up by 10 or 11 or something like that." I said, "Okay, how are we going to get back Sunday? Are we going to go back? And Robert's going to come with us. We got to get tickets and all this stuff." And then thinking next thing, we don't score again for the next 8 minutes or something like that.
It wasn't even a letdown. Those guys played really hard.
Absolutely.
I just think, the ball didn't. We won so many close games. In the end, I mean, we had a lead. We let it go. And hell, they're a good team.
Absolutely.
And they came to life. That last shot, Terrell Burden, which Terrell's probably he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He has to be.
Going to that game on last Friday night on senior night when they announced that while I am in charge of this school, no one will ever wear number one again.
Pat White said that, yeah.
And like, that's pretty cool.
There's going to be a jersey retirement at some point then. And there's a couple others that need to be up there. And I've been.
What was your number, Teddy? Is it going to be
number 40? It won't be mine. It won't be mine. Oh no! I build the old gym brick by brick. Yeah. But
oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I mean, everything's exciting right now.
Yeah. It is.
But with that comes a lot of responsibility.
Oh, absolutely.
And there's a lot of great things that are happening, but there's a lot of work behind the scenes. I will tell you, I've treated just working, as a volunteer for KSU as a second job, and I can't explain it. It's like it's family because I've stayed around the area and to see the growth and just the output. Our graduates get jobs.
Yeah.
And, that's intentional. We have a lot of things that help with that. And,
yourself included, since you are a graduate who is gainfully employed.
Absolutely. And, so I benefited from the work of the foundation. I mean, when I was playing here, we didn't have dorms. So KSU Place and all those apartments down Outerwood Road over there, that's where we stayed. It was awesome. All of the athletes together.
Right.
It's funny. Every athlete we have on the show, they say, "Man, it's the dorms and the food that brought me here. Might be a coach or might be this, but it's the dorms and the food."
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Now,
But you had mentioned, sorry, Chuck.
No, go ahead.
You had talked about the trajectory level, and to some people who aren't close to the scene, they think that trajectory level is a common occurrence. But it's all the people like yourself who are the key cogs in the machine to make sure that there is a smooth transition going from this conference to that conference and from this coach to the next coach. And so I just like to give you kudos and everybody else that works around you, because it isn't a seamless thing where it's like, well, we made March Madness $320 million worth of, okay, now we're going to be there. No, it's still a daily thing. You still have to wake up in the morning and go to work. And we appreciate the heck out of everything you do.
There's a whole lot of folks behind the scene. There are folks that work directly with the school. There are a lot of volunteers. But believe me, we have top-notch folks over there. We have thought leaders, and it's only getting better. I mean, and so if that flows up, not down, up, we're going to keep going up.
Absolutely.
And I think we're going to become more and more high quality as we move along. The landscape may change a bit if we if everything goes well.
And it will.
It will.
and your job's not tied in to sports. It's really the KSU Foundation for the whole school.
So I'm on the foundation. I'm vice chair, chair-elect. Steve Cadronell is the chair right now. He's great chair. I mean, I couldn't have come behind, someone as good. He's a guru of real estate. But I'm also on the Athletic Association, which that's this transition to Conference USA. I mean, that's been a big part of everything they're doing now. And then, we got to build out some of the facilities. I think a new baseball stadium is coming.
Right after this season, it'll be built on the same place as Stillwell, right?
And and that's pretty amazing. And then there's some athletic training and coaching office facilities that we need. And many other things that are on the drawing board. But you got to understand something. We actually, as a university, we have to work through the state, the USG, and the Board of Regents.
Correct.
So we have to do things by the book, and we come in peace every time, because but they know what's going on, and we're in their good graces, and we're going to stay in their good graces. But they're here to help. So but it's not as simple as snapping your finger.
Let's go do this. Let's build
anything.
this.
No, that's not how it works. It's a whole long process.
And Conference USA knows we're the new kids on the block.
Yeah. And so,
although there's a lot of new kids on the block in Conference USA.
There are.
Every conference
But
is
I
getting
think
new
if we had to
kids.
pick a conference, that was the one we fit perfectly in that one.
We fit so perfect, and every time I bring it up and talk to somebody, and they're like, "Conference USA," who's that? I'm like, all I want to tell you is that I remember 20 years ago, Louisville was in Conference USA. Now you can say that there's a lot of things that have happened, and you're not incorrect, but know that we are at that
level.
kind of level.
Yeah,
We're at that
we
level
are.
now, yeah.
And see what they're looking at, the big sports. They're looking at basketball and football. Let me tell you, I'll be willing to make a bet.
Was that Owl? Be willing to bet?
Owl.
Owl.
A-O-W-L.
O-W. Owl would be willing to bet.
Make a bet that will baseball,
You got that right.
softball, golf,
Track and field.
track and field.
Track and field's rocking right
we
now.
have a lot of. I mean, don't be surprised if we don't win the conference pretty doggone fast.
Well, that would just be
Something.
outstanding.
Yes.
And
outstanding. Yes.
I've got a friend who was on the baseball team, and I didn't even know it because I wasn't friends with him back in the day. But he was on the baseball team about the same time you were on the basketball team. And when you talk about that progression, and it's just amazing to me how it trickles down to everybody else.
Yeah, it trickles down. But imagine what a new baseball stadium is going to do.
Oh, I can't even
I've
imagine.
said for years, before I ever knew anybody at KSU, I always said they will have a baseball team because there's so many baseball players in this county.
Absolutely.
Even after all of the big, huge schools take whoever they want, the leftovers are a ton of athletes.
Yeah.
And like you said, come next year when you see us on the March Madness bracket again, or you tune in on a Tuesday night to see who's playing at New Mexico State.
And you're the only game on TV.
This is how you're going to get that pitcher
Exposure.
or that swing man or that.
It's going to happen.
It is.
It's going to happen.
It's
It's happening. We're in the middle
Correct.
of it.
Correct.
And we're gonna talk more about that, but let's get into our last commercial with Alvin Jameson, and we'll be back with Teddy Parrish.
Hey, Alvin Jameson here, the mortgage guy. Are you looking to get pre-approved for a home loan? Or maybe you want to build a house from the ground up? Are you curious, or better yet, is your significant other on your back about making renovations in your current home? Call me. I have options for you. All self-employed individuals. Are you torn between writing off all your income or having to show your income to qualify for a house? I have a third alternative for you. Whether you're a W-2 employee, self-employed individual looking to do a purchase or pull money out of your current house, or better yet, we can't forget the investors out there. If you have that high interest rate, hard money loan and looking to refinance out of it, again, give me a call. I have options. Below are the states that I'm personally licensed in. Call me, 404-587-9033. Again, 404-587-9033. Visit the website, alvinjameson.com.
Brother played baseball with a golfer.
Thank you, Alvin Jameson, for being a sponsor of the Owls Who Live Sports. We're happy to be here tonight, me and Robert, with our brother Teddy Parrish. And Teddy, I know one of the things we're going to talk about is NIL, and I know you're mainly on the foundation, but you said you're also on the athletic board. How do we approach NIL at KSU? I mean, that and the transfer portal, because, I mean, we're not Power 5 yet, and I fully see us being one day.
Yeah.
As we continue to grow. But how do we compete with the bigger schools when it comes to NIL and getting transfer portal people that want to come here? We've had some from the football team. I know big lineman from Jack State came over, and you know who it was last year?
Correct.
Yeah, and others, some linemen from Florida or whatever. But what is KSU doing to help compete in that area?
Well, so I'm not directly involved with the NIL, the collective. I mean, but I am involved with it. There's a fine line.
We just want your opinion.
I'm about to go off. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna
Go
give it
off.
all.
We're
to
getting
you.
the whole
I'm gonna give it
thing.
all to you.
It's
So,
church.
Yeah, it's church. I mean, so there's a fine line. So I was out at the AGB, Association of Governing Boards Conference in LA, and that's all of the endowments and everyone in leadership for universities.
Right.
And they had sessions on NIL, so I was in those sessions. And my takeaway from the sessions was it's still kind of the wild, wild west. There are some large schools that are really not going full throttle. Of course they can't. So the one takeaway that I took from that conference was the universities that have embraced it as much as they could, they deal with one collective, right?
Okay.
And they're trying to figure out the whole marketing aspect of it, because really what you have is, if you have a student athlete, and an agent, right, and a school of business, those can all be synced if at some point, right? I don't know. So they're talking about how the marketing aspect of it could be, linked back to the school of business at some of those universities. Not our university. I'm just talking about what I saw.
In general.
In general. And so there's just a lot of heavy discussion about it. For us, I think our collective is still getting it structured together, which we have to make sure we're doing things the right way, because we don't want to go backwards. But heck, for a minute there, the IRS, in terms of the NIL collectives being nonprofits, that's still up in the air, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of
ambiguity.
And there are a lot of players going out and getting NIL deals on their own.
So it's direct versus using an agent, or direct versus using a collective. I guess direct would be using an agent, but yeah, direct versus the collective. The pros and cons of that.
Yeah.
So
something like Callie. You know Callie Terza? She throws the hammer at KSU.
Okay, yeah.
So she got an NIL deal with WWE.
Directly.
Yeah. And
they approached her.
They approached her. 12 athletes around the country every year get this contract. And she's getting a check weekly from WWE.
That's awesome.
And she's awesome. Yeah. And she comes on the show and tells us about when she goes to training and talks about that and all. And she wants to be an FBI agent and stuff, but now she's thinking she wants to be a WWE wrestler when she gets out of KSU.
Well, the big stars, the ones that are on TV, I have a niece who plays for a team. She has a team that actually helps her with hers, and she's gotten private deals with that team. So it's a matter of how you position it with the collective.
Yeah, now
did
the athletes owe anything to the school, even if they get it on a private level?
I don't think so, but I'm not an expert. I'm not a full expert on
Right.
That's all right. We're learning.
I really appreciate you saying that you're not an expert,
I'm just being
because
honest.
I don't believe there are many experts, because
There
this is
aren't.
all so new.
It's a moving target.
And it's like you look at it and you go, well, this is illegal, but only in Mississippi.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, see, here's what we live by. We have instructions
Right.
on how to deal with it. Prospective athletes,
Nothing.
stay away from. It's not that we're approaching anyone,
Correct.
But, there are certain things we can do for the current student athletes that are signed to Kennesaw to actually introduce them to whatever, the opportunities, right? And that's about where the line is drawn. Now, we're working on a few things I can't mention because it's still work, the collective is doing a good job of trying to raise funds, and they're still going through the structuring process and putting in place some growers of those assets. But it's still a work in progress.
Let me ask you a question that I don't even know if you'll be able to answer because of your responsibilities and your titles and everything else. Are NIL and the portal helping sport at some level? Is it doing anything that you can kind of pinpoint and go, this is how KSU ties a knot onto the tail of that dragon and lets us drags us to the, because I hear all the time about people entering the portal, and they say 1,000 people entered the portal, but only 200 were actually wanted and left. At some point in time, if we're moving up to Conference USA, hey, that extra lineman out of Wisconsin, maybe we start poaching that system. And I just wondered how you felt about the whole thing.
So the whole thing here's how I feel. The first few years is going to be the Wild Wild West, right? We're in the middle of that.
We're right there.
I think that at some point here real soon that loyalty is going to matter a lot, and you're going to have that middle of the road to lower. I mean, great athlete, that's a good student, that's going to, you're going to find a way to get them some funds, but the loyalty is going to be there because you're going to have that legacy relationship when they're done with school. That matters. It's not all about money. I mean, everybody's not going to the league. Everybody's not going to get a $200,000 NIL. You have to love these kids.
Right.
As a coach, you have to do whatever you can to support them that's legal as a school. And I firmly believe that. I mean, every kid's not going to go for the money. You might jump up and go from 5 points a game to 30 points a game and become a superstar. But if we have built that relationship the way we're supposed to build the relationship,
when the kid was a junior in high school,
yes.
And you've built
that matters, and the coaches matter. I mean, it'll be a little sticky. Obviously, you can't. I mean, somebody offers you $200,000. I mean,
what are you going to do?
Yeah. But I think loyalty, will be built for the right reasons.
I think that's the key word, and we're a long way into building loyalty because, I mean, there were people that played at Georgia, and my dad played at Georgia, so I want to play at Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about the money. I want to play at Georgia. And we're a long way away from that because we're so new into the program.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the kind of people we need, like Garrett's kids over there. Garrett Brackett. Garrett's kids do nothing but wear KSU stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. We need to see KSU stuff being worn around here.
Well, and
Yeah.
It's one of the things we always talk about on the show, Teddy. Who was your favorite team when you went to KSU? When you were an 18-year-old and you were getting ready to go there, what was the team that you had followed your entire life?
Yeah.
It wasn't KSU. But to the future generations of brackets and maybe that kid over there and that kid over there, this is their team.
Absolutely.
They don't have that other team like, and I like KSU as well. This is the team.
Yeah. My son,
I love it.
He is a 7-year-old baseball prodigy, I hope he continues to be. Basketball, he plays basketball as well. He saw RJ go down court and dunk the ball, and he's like,
That's
tunnel
it.
vision with RJ.
That's what I want to do.
He's like, so it's those experiences.
It is those
and
experiences.
the way the gyms the games were attended this past year, I think that helps. So it's a slow process, but you're right. They're gonna gain that loyalty.
Absolutely.
KSU. I mean, that's
brand recognition. And
brand recognition.
To a 7-year-old doesn't understand why KSU isn't the same as Alabama or Georgia or Ohio State. And at some point in time, as we've been discussing, if it's the 13th largest school
in the country,
second, at some point in time, maybe 40 years from now, I don't know how long this takes, but there's a decent chance. It is happening. It is happening as we speak.
It better happen. I got to see this before I'm a goner now. So we're
all
talking
going
the
to
next
be around
10.
for a while.
Yeah,
we
will.
I hope I'm around just to see us get to the next phase.
Yeah, it's coming.
There are a lot of things I really
Yeah. So, we looked at the schedule last week, pretty in-depth new football schedule, and it's crazy how far they're going. I mean, they're going to San Jose State. They're going to San Antonio. They're going to El Paso. So they got some decent road trips next year.
Yeah, those travel budgets went up a whole lot.
You got that right.
Yeah.
This budget accelerated in every slot, every line
Every
item.
slot.
Yeah.
But fortunately, or so far, we matched the criteria that we need to get the Conference USA money, which is pretty significant
That's
compared
very
to
significant.
compared to the ASUN.
A few things were adjusted, which is great. Which is great. So they're working with us.
Yeah.
Hopefully that continues. But I think our brethren in Atlanta, the USG and Board of Regents, I think they're they're going to take care of us. I mean, at the end of the day, they want us to be successful.
That's it. And
Everybody
at the
in
end
Georgia wants to be
At the end of the
successful.
day, if you're in charge of the universities in your state, you want them all to be successful.
Yeah.
I'd like all my teams to go undefeated and beat all of you.
Absolutely.
So hopefully they're always behind
We
you.
still have the best basketball program in the state. I know what Tech did this year. They did pretty good. We're still the best in the state.
Yeah, they beat North Carolina and Duke and
know.
lost to everybody else they should have beat. So I don't know what Stoudemire's doing down there, but we'll
He's
figure it
doing
out.
pretty good. He's doing pretty good. But
Yeah.
I think we have a really good two great basketball coaches, actually.
Yeah.
And, I'm rooting for Bo.
We've had them both on the
I'm
show.
rooting for Bo. I hope we have a successful year in football. It's going to be a rough slog, but I hope we have he has a good year.
It's gonna be a fun year. It's entertaining, and once again, like Chuck alluded to earlier, these Tuesday and Wednesday games where all of a sudden the kid who wants to watch a football game in Boise, Idaho, only has one chance.
Yeah.
It's KSU and UTEP.
That's right.
That's cool stuff.
Team's looking pretty good though.
Yeah.
Right now.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm
Me
excited.
Well, I know this.
Looking damn good, actually. Excuse my friend.
We speak French on here occasionally. That's okay. So, just to say this, Robert and I welcome you on this show anytime you want to be on.
Every time.
Really? Oh, absolutely. Anytime you got something to say.
You ever get a new? The world needs to know this. Please let us know.
I'll be more detailed about things. I got to do a better job of.
I think you're
picking
pretty
out what I can and can't
detail-oriented. That's
say.
why they have you in the position you do.
Oh yeah, I am. But I'm saying,
I understand.
got a good balance there between being quiet and talking too much.
I understand. Well, we appreciate you being on the show, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you,
All right.
Teddy.
How about one more big hootie hoo for Teddy Parrish? Hootie hoo! And we appreciate everybody coming out tonight to see the Owls who live sports right here at Miller's Ale House, and we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday night here at 7 o'clock. Until then, hootie hoo!